Hey guys, Dan here for BladeReviews.com, doing another knife comparison. This time around I've got the Zero Tolerance 0300 and the Zero Tolerance 0350 on the table for your consideration. Again, this is a kind of video that is really designed for people on the fence. Which one would they prefer? Which one would work best for them? So I'm going to try and help guide you through that purchasing decision, and at the very least just give you a good idea as to what the differences really are with these two knives. So to start things off, we've got them zoomed in nicely, and I'm going to give some very quick specifications. We've got an overall length on the 0300 of 9 inches versus an overall length of 7 5/8 inches for the 350. Weight on this one is 8.6 ounces. Weight on the 350 is 6.2 ounces. Now what I'm going to do is push the blades a little closer so you can really get an idea. It's the comparison in blade length, and this one's a pretty easy thing. There's just a ½ inch difference here. You've got 3 3/4 of an inch on the 300, and then 3 1/4 on the 350. So when I was on the Kershaw website, or I guess it's the Zero Tolerance website, they said that the 350 was exactly 10% smaller, and I'm not sure how exactly they calculated that, but you know, I don't know. I think that's kind of a worthless thing. It is smaller though. So let's flip them over so you can see one major difference, and that is, of course, the the lock type, and this is a big difference. So you can see you got the titanium frame lock, of course, and then you've got a liner lock here, a stainless steel liner lock, and nice G10 on both sides. You got sculpted G10 on one side and sculpted titanium on the other. Same pocket clip. You'll notice that everything is screwed together. I mean, as far as I can tell, fit and finish is just as good on both of these. Let's see if I can stand these up and we can do a thickness comparison. I'm not sure. I haven't actually stood these up together, so alright, hopefully they don't fall on each other. We're going to zoom out, zooming out, and so you can get a good idea as to the thickness there. So yeah, I mean, they're both pretty thick. The 300 is definitely thicker though. So as far as carry, I mean, they're going to carry differently, much differently. So there you have it for overall specifications and just kind of an eyeball comparison. Let's do an ergonomics comparison. And so in my hand, this is the 300, obviously, and it fits very well. It feels very comfortable. This is an extremely comfortable knife. I really like it, in part because it's just so big. Fits great in reverse grip. It's got this excellent texturing on the back here. Incredibly comfortable knife. Let's compare that with the 350, and I tell you, I really like the 350 too. The ergonomics, in some ways, they almost feel better because the knife is just a little bit smaller and it just fits my hand so well. But I think in actuality, the 350 is going to get the nod in terms of just overall ergonomics. It's so much bigger, but the 350 is no slouch. I really love the way it feels. It's kind of boxy, but it doesn't hurt at all, so it just fills the hand really nicely. And you kind of know where all the edges are, but not in an uncomfortable way, if that makes any sense. And just kind of really nice. This is a knife that I really enjoy holding, and you know, I like this one too. They're both incredibly comfortable, but this one's a little more rounded, and you know, they're both great. So that's how they perform in the hand. Let's maybe do kind of a super close-up. I don't know. We'll test the capabilities of my zoom here, my macro mode on this thing, so you can see. I mean, beautifully finished knife. Got that nice grippy G10. Everything is flush. Nice thick liners too. I mean, you don't get a frame lock necessarily, but I mean, take a look. It's almost as thick as the frame lock would be. I mean, not quite, but my point is this is nice and thick. Steel lockup is really solid. I have a lot of faith in this kind of lock here, the way this one's been executed. Beautiful finish to the blade, nice DLC coating, diamond-like carbon coating, and a wonderful texture here. Just a great knife. And again, with the 300 series, the 300 to 301, the 302, Let's get nice and close. This has got that wonderful machined texture on all of it. You've got that full titanium frame lock. You've got that monster pivot pin. Again, you got the screw type construction. Everything is very flush. Everything's very smooth. Great lockup and engagement there. Very thick frame lock. You've got the Hinderer lock stop, and everything's overbuilt. Again, DLC coated blade, beautiful edge, wonderfully made. Both of these knives are made in America. It's a tough choice, but when you consider that the 350 can be had for around $100, and then the 300, if you shop around, you can sometimes they get as low as just under 200. Currently, you're looking at 205 is about the cheapest I could find the 300. But if you go to any of the major retailers like Knife Center or Blade HQ, you're looking at 230 to up to 270. So not a cheap knife. You know, $100 up to 130 or so. This one's not cheap either, but it is almost half the price. You know, in some cases it is half the price. Just depends on where you're buying it. But both are excellent. Which one do I like? Personally, I find the 350 a lot more practical for everyday carry. This is a knife that I will actually EDC. This is one that I can EDC, but it just doesn't get as much pocket time. It's a little too much knife for me. Maybe that says more about me than it says about the knife, but you know, they're both fantastic. And if you can get both, if you get the opportunity to handle both of them, I think you know, it's going to make your decision a little bit harder, if not easier, you know, because it's because they're just so great. But seriously though, no, the best bet is just to try and handle a couple of these if you can, and you that might make the most sense to you. You know, if you can slip one in your pocket, and yeah. So there you go. It's just some advice, just some tips, just some close-up looks at the knives. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll be back soon with something else for you, some other knife related video. Until then.